right, good morning, everyone. My name is Jen. Welcome to the Thursday 10 a.m. Strong and Steady class. We have a folding chair. We have a set of free weights, something that we can handle for most movements, so you shouldn't be grasping for something too heavy. And then I do have a heavier set that we're going to use later on just to help stabilize my chair. And then I have a 6-foot stick, which gives me an option for balance and alignment. All right, so let's begin by warming up. Let's extend our arms out from our shoulders and start drawing these smallish circles. Either forward or back is fine. Try and keep your torso as still as you can. Your feet are tethered to the ground, in line with your hips, nice and parallel. And focus on that movement of the shoulder blades in your back. Go ahead and change directions with your circles. And you can do this either sitting or standing. It's entirely up to you. Good. Getting that blood flow, getting those joints moving. Go ahead and make some bigger circles now, one arm at a time, nice and slow. Don't go too rapidly and hurt yourself. It's important to do these big circles every day. We got to stay mobile in these joints and in our thoracic spine. We do lose this mobility if we don't continue to do this sort of stretch movement every day. Okay, good. Switch arms. And ideally, we're making complete circles, not oblique circles or ovals here. Want to get them as complete as we can. And change directions. Let go of that tension in your neck and jaw if you're gripping there. Good, and now if you're seated, come to standing, and we'll begin by hinging, starting to warm up our back sides. So in our hinge, our legs remain parallel to our hips all the way down to the ground. We're gonna have a nice bend in our knees. So we're hinging at the hips as we melt a nice neutral spine down toward the mat. And focus as you hinge here, drawing the belly button in, stabilizing your core. Pelvic floor is lifting. Belly button's driving in as that transverse wraps, and keep that rib cage nice and closed. Good. By now you should be starting to experience better range of motion in this movement. Now let's add in softness of the knees, bending and squatting, but keeping with that nice 45-degree back. Elbows extended out from shoulders. Nicely done. All right, here we go, guys. We have in our workout today 4 strength circuits, and then we have a core and shoulder work for the 5th. We're gonna go in a format of 8, 10, 8 today. So we'll go 8 reps, first time through 10 reps, and then back down to 8 reps. In the first element, we have 4 movements. So we're gonna start with what's known as the iron cross. So the iron cross is a movement that's a squat movement, but it also combines some shoulder and arm, chest and lat work. So you can do this with a dumbbell or without a dumbbell to do iron cross. What it looks like is when you start with your body weight squat and you extend your arms out, as we often do when we do a body weight squat. As you come to standing, your arms go out laterally. See that? And the trick of this movement is you never let your arms go down to your sides. So you're just folding them in and out. And so I would recommend perhaps that you do this first set with your weights, and then do the second set maybe without, and then do the third set with again, because that's where the challenge comes in. Is you're holding the weights out throughout the entire time. You never get to rest in the shoulders, upper traps, in that upper thoracic area. Those muscles are always working and keeping those arms really stable. So that can be challenging. So that's the first one. The second movement is going to be donkey kicks. All right. And so we're familiar with how we make that modification with our chair. We're going to do donkey kicks, focusing on hamstrings and glutes, one side and then the other. And then we're going to do a reverse plank toe tap. So we're going to be seated at the edge of our chair in a reverse plank format. And just move these out of my way here. And with our toe tap, we're just going to create some instability. So if we're here in our reverse plank, we're going to reach out with one foot as we're able. Okay, so it depends on all of you in terms of where your good form is and the positioning of your body, whether you're lengthened completely straight or whether you have knees slightly bent. But our goal is to create some variation in there. So find your position of stability and good form, either knees bent or legs straight, and then challenge your core by creating some movement. Okay, so that's what we're doing in the first round. Okay, so let's get going. Let's start with that iron cross. You can use your chair as you need to. If you need to sit down in your chair and work your squats from your chair, or whether you can do it from a standing position, okay? You ready? So this first round is all 8s. All right, ready? So we're going down in that squat, arms extended out to the front. And out to the side. To the side for 2. 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nice job. You should start to feel some warmth in the shoulders. Okay, now our donkey kicks. Let's go right after it. All right, get that leg bent and extended out from the hip. And now we're tapping to the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Switching legs. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're focusing on hamstrings and glutes. 7 and 8. Nice job. Do not drive from the knee for that. Now the last one is the reverse plank. So on the edge of our chair, we're seated out, hands under armpits. Lift your heart. All right, now we're going to slide off the edge of our chair into our reverse plank. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over our wrists. Okay, now we're going to do those toe taps. 1, 2, 3. I'm exhaling as I'm creating that movement. 5, 7, and 8. Where I'm demanding stability, where I don't have it right there, is in my pelvis, okay? So make sure you focus on stabilizing your pelvis throughout with that imaginary water glass right below your belly button. All right, back to our iron cross. Ready? 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, arms parallel to shoulders, 8, 9, and 10. Nicely done. Okay, back to those donkey kicks. Isolate, isolate, isolate. We're focusing on back of legs, butt. Pelvis is nice and neutral. Ready? Shoulders again stacked. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switching sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Focus on the drawbridge. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nicely done. Now spin around. Sit on the chair, roll to your sacrum, get that spine nice and neutral, leaned back. Shoulders, elbows, wrists. Send the fanny off. Okay, now drop that belly button in. Exhale and tap. 3, 4, 5, and I'm digging my heels in because I'm focusing on my hamstrings. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Draw your fanny back down. Good. Okay, last round, iron cross. All right, ready? We have 8s here, okay? Inhale and exhale as you squat. 1. Focus on weight in your heels. 2, 3, 4. I like to exhale as I sit down in the chair, proverbially. 7 and 8. Good. Donkey kicks again. Last round here, folks. Okay, always stacking, always focusing on my lats and not the tops of my shoulders for support. All right, exhale into my position and let's tap that heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, a nice way for us to increase the intensity of that is if we had a resistance band at home. I don't know if any of you have that or would want to add that in, but we can talk about that in the next class. Okay, you ready? Switching legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let's turn around, sitting down on our chair. Wrists under armpits, nice and tall. Heels extended out and away because we're going to slide that fanny off of the chair. Don't bring your knees together. You want to stay in this good alignment, okay? All right, exhale into that sinking transverse and extend. Tap that toe for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And really it's the heel at this point. 7 and 8. Good, draw the fanny back. Okay, nice first round. You should start to be feeling a warming in your body, maybe a little bit of lift in that heart rate. Now for the next round, we're gonna go back to something that we haven't done, well, we've only done once, which is our split stance row to press. Okay, so if we need stability, we're using the back of the chair, not the seat of the chair. All right, so I'm gonna start with a dumbbell in just one hand. And in my split stance, I'm starting with the dumbbell in my left and my right leg is forward. And I'm gonna hinge forward into this 90-degree or 45-degree angle. Weight is even, my left leg straight, my right knee is bent. I'm gonna use that chair for balance if I need it. If I don't need it, that's okay. You could also place your hand around your knee, okay? So we're gonna row, rotate, and press to the ceiling. So if you thought about the positioning of your torso right now as you're rowing, your headlights are pointed down toward the ground. You're going to row and then twist and turn your headlights toward your wall. Okay, you got that? And then you'll press to the ceiling, arms straight up toward the ceiling. You got it? So we'll do one side, then the other. And the next 2 elements are gonna be back on our chair. We're gonna do a new one, which is bicep extensions. And then we'll do tricep extensions, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get right into the split stance, row to press. All right, I'm staying on this side. I have my chair near me on the right side if I should need it. But I'm gonna start placing my hand near my right knee. Okay, I'm bending at my 45-degree angle. Weight is even. Exhale as I pull from my back. Twist, turn my headlights to the wall, press to the ceiling for 1. Row, twist, and press for 2. Row, twist, press for 3, and then I'm rotating my headlights back down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now remember, all of that rotational movement that we're doing with the weight into our core. We want it close to our center of gravity to keep us stable. to help take care of to load the muscles in the right way. The further away from our center of gravity, the more risky the movement is, okay? So we want to keep it strong and steady and safe. All right, now let's switch sides. Weights in the right hand, left leg is forward, knee bent, hinging forward. And then I have my left hand near my knee or near the back of the chair. Okay, row, twist my headlights and press to the ceiling and return. 2. Focus on those headlights. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Good. Okay. Now, bicep extensions. We are going to do this unilaterally. Bicep extensions are a movement that our brain doesn't really let us do very well. So what a bicep extension looks like in way of an exercise is if you were to imagine that your arms extended here with palms up, and you're going to bend at the elbows and bring the hands back. Well, whenever we do this movement, it seems, in my experience, when I have people do it, they automatically drop their elbows and they pull in here. But a part of the chore is to maintain that nice parallel line with the floor, forcing that stability to come out of your lats, keeping that your humerus located, extended, parallel to the ground, okay? So what we're gonna do to encourage this is we're gonna do one arm at a time. So I think all of you, maybe one or two of you are left-handed, but we'll go ahead and start with the left hand. And I have the dumbbell in my left hand, and I'm gonna use my right hand right under my elbow to make sure that I'm gonna stay in place. Okay, I'm not gonna support it and hold me up. I'm just gonna really have it here as a reminder. You could also put your right hand around your armpit if you wanted, and we're going to do this extension, okay? All right, you guys got it? So position that right hand either on the elbow or on the armpit, okay? Ready? Curl for 1, 2, 3. So we're bringing our knuckles back to our nose. 6, 7, and 8. Good. Okay, bring it down. Let's switch sides. All right, so now my right arm is extended, palm up from my armpit. My elbow is going to stay right in place, okay? Squeeze the armpit, position that left hand wherever you need to, and curl, bringing the knuckles to your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nicely done. Okay, now reach for your second dumbbell. Now we're going to do tricep extensions. Okay, so seated nice and tall, dumbbells overhead, arms to the ceiling, and lower to the back of your head and extend back up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nicely done. Lower with control. Okay, we're back to our split stance work. Okay, dumbbell in the left. And this is a nice one. This is a nice multi-joint movement. We've got a lot going on here, so let's focus. Dumbbell in my left, right leg forward, knee bent, hinging slightly. Okay, find your balance, your center of gravity. Use the chair, use the stick, or place your right hand on your knee. Row, rotate, and press. Here we have 10. Row, rotate, press for 2, 3. This is not a road race with this one, right? You want to be very specific on your movement. 6. Focus on your headlights. Get them positioned before you press. 8, 9, 10, and return. Good. Okay, switching sides once more. Okay, nice split stance, hinge to a 45. Left leg forward, right hand with the dumbbell. Ready? Row, rotate those headlights and press and return. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now remember, with that, we're rotating our spine. We're keeping it in a neutral. So we're just twisting, but we aren't flopping in our spine and changing the direction. All right, back to our bicep extensions. Now I'm gonna face the other way. Okay, so I'm extending my right palm out from my shoulder. It's nice and parallel to the floor. My left hand's coming over to my armpit or to my elbow. And let's curl our knuckles to our nose. 1, shoulder to elbow is nice and still. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't let your shoulders rise up. 9 and 10. Good. Okay. Switch sides. So the key is keeping those shoulder blades stable in the back, keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed in the top. Same with the neck. So try and loosen your jaw as you're able. Switch sides, palm up. Left hand has the dumbbell. Right hand's finding that stability in my armpit and my elbow. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want, you could challenge yourself dropping that hand. 6, 7, 8, and then return it. Ooh, did you lose any ground? 9 and 10. Okay, you're trying to develop some muscle memory of where your arm should be, not letting your elbow drop below parallel to shoulder. Okay, back to tricep extensions. 2 dumbbells again, if you can manage it. If not, you can use 1. Extend those arms over your head, all right? And bend at the elbows, lowering the weight behind your head and straighten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nicely done. Okay, we have our last rounds of 8. All right. Now we should be very comfortable in our split stance now, in our movement, hopefully, in our flow. All right, so find that left leg forward or right leg forward, dumbbell in the left hand, hinging forward, but don't round in the back, nice and flat. Okay, ready? Row, rotate, and press for 1, 2, and return. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nicely done. Okay, switching sides. Split stance, hinging forward, weight even, left leg forward, weight is in my right hand. Exhale as I row, rotate, and press for 1, 2, 3, elbow in, rotate, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, good. Okay, bicep extensions. All right, 1 arm at a time. So I've got it extended out from my right armpit or in my right hand, left arm at my, or left hand at my right elbow. Curl, knuckle to nose. 1, 2, Relax in the neck, relax in the jaw. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Remember that knuckle to nose, okay? Now switching sides, parallel to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nicely done. Reach for that that second dumbbell. Be seated or stand as you wish for these extensions. All right, reaching up overhead, biceps at your ears, and bend and straighten. 2, always exhaling as you're contracting. 5, 6, control the movement on both ends. 7, and 8. Good. All right, nicely done. Get some water. We'll move on to our third round. Okay, so here's our third round, and this is the one I kind of forewarned about. We are going to go over a push-up. All right, so we have push-ups here, lateral lunges, bent over IYTs, and then we have a chair plank. So we're going to get into stabilizing through the chest, shoulders, and back is the theme. Okay, so I have some extra heavy dumbbells that I'm putting on my chair, okay? They're at home. If you are using a folding chair, if you can position it against a wall or against a sofa, another good option would be to do this against a countertop. Okay, so push-ups are a really great movement for us to do to strengthen our upper body, also strengthen our core. I don't like doing the modification of doing it from your knees because it really impacts how you think about supporting your pelvis. It is much better to add an incline and train with an incline. You could also be doing it with a wall and leaning in and pushing away, but I think most of you, if not all of you, are strong enough that you don't need quite that level of modification. Okay, so here I go. I put 30 pounds on the base of my chair, and the end of my folding chair is where I'm going to position my hands. And again, I'm going to focus, as always, hands under armpits. And where the top of the chair is going to hit me is right around the bra line, right? So it's not going to hit me in the neck. It's going to be positioned a little bit lower, and I'm going to extend my legs back. So here I find myself in this modified plank, right? And I'm going to bend at the elbows, lowering my chest toward the back of the chair, and I'm going to press myself back up. Okay, so in this incline position, much more of our body weight is still centered closer to the ground. All right, so I hope that you all feel comfortable with giving this a try. You can always, if you feel worried about it, you step in and take yourself out of it. But I do want to experiment with this because it's a great way to begin focusing on strengthening those important areas. Okay, so here I have in my chair, that's going to be our first one, push-ups. Then we'll do our lateral lunges, which we've done last time, either with the chair or with the stick or without anything, where we step to the side, lunge on one and come back to center, and then alternate with the other side. Then we'll do bent over IYTs. So that will be with no weight, or if you had very light weight, it would be appropriate in this bent over position. From the front, here's what IYTs look like. Think Village People. I, Y, and T. Okay, so it's really working through a broad range of muscles in the back. It's a wonderful movement. So that will be our third element. And then the fourth element is we're just going to hold our chair plank. So it's going to be challenging to have chair plank and push-ups in the same circuit, and also to be doing it back to back. But I believe in you guys. You can do it. Okay, so here we go. Let's start off with our push-ups. We do have 8 push-ups. Okay, so I want you to do your best. do as many as you can with this good form that we're talking about. Okay, hands on the back of the chair. I'm going to step back into my good plank position. All right, I'm going to bend at the elbows, keeping my elbows in close to my ribs as I lower my bra line down to the chair, and then straighten for 1, 2, now 3. I am positioned a bit on my toes, but my legs are not kissing. Remember, our pelvic stability and strength doesn't only come from our pelvic, our transverse, it comes from our pelvic floor, and it comes from our inner thighs. And if our legs are kissing together, we don't allow our inner thighs and pelvic floor to help us as much as they can be. And 8. Okay, nice job. Now we're going to our lateral lunges. So we can do this with the chair, as I mentioned, with the stick or with nothing. Okay, so I'm going to stand with my feet together and my hands together. I'm going to step to the side, to my left knee's bending, and the right leg is straight. 2, 3, 4, and I'm exhaling as I'm pushing up. 6, 7, and 8. Good. Okay, now let's do those bent over IYTs. All right, nice bent over position. Hinging. We shouldn't be parallel to the floor, more like that 45-degree angle. Nose position, not straight down, but angled down. All right. I, Y, T, for 1. I, Y, T. And I want you to focus on drawing the muscles in your back, not using your arms, not using your chest. 4, 6, and our spine is nice and still. Our core is engaged. Last one. Good. Okay. Now we have chair plank. All right. So we are going to go with a 20-second plank here. So wrists under armpits. Step back into your plank. All right. You ready? Now you can have your hands on the back of the chair, or you can have it, if you want to really get into an incline, you can have it on the seat of the chair. Okay, 20 seconds now. Good. And think about loading your lats here and not shortening your neck and bunching up your shoulders. That's 10, 15, and 20. Good. Okay, take a quick break, and then we're going to go right into our push-ups. All right, you ready? All right, same alignment, hands on the back of the chair. As we bend our elbows, they're going to skim against our ribs. Okay, ready? Now here we have 10. Let's go. Lower and extend. Lower. Body is straight. We call this a plank because we're imagining that we are a piece of wood. 6, 7, elbows bending. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, nicely done. Lateral lunges. Okay, now you can use the stick here if you need that. Position in front of you, or you can just use it as a focal point with palms up and holding it in both hands like a trapeze artist, okay? It's entirely up to you. Okay, let's go left. Exhale. 1. And if I'm using the stick, I'm really positioning it from hand to hand. And hopefully for you all, it's just more of a comfort than a necessity in terms of balance. We're pushing off that bent leg for 9 and 10. Good. Okay, now we have those IYTs. So nice bent over position. Drop those arms right under the shoulders so the fingers are dangling down. And let's begin. Exhale as we go Y, Y, T. Keep it moving. 2, Y, T. 3, Y, T. 4, Y, T. And we're really trying as we're able to get our arms above the line of our shoulders. 6, T. 7, I, Y, T. That was 8. 2 more. Y, T. 9, Y, and T for 10. Good. All right, now plank. Okay. Now, I'm going to position it and broaden my incline. So now I'm putting my hands on the base of the chair, okay? So this is for those of you that felt that that last plank, because of the incline, was suitable for a push-up, but you could use more challenge on the plank, okay? So I've got my hands on the base of the chair on either side of it. I'm gripping it. I'm gonna step out to my plank and I'm checking in. Are my shoulders stacked? Now we're gonna do this one for 30 seconds, okay? Ready, steady, and go. All right, and when I'm doing plank for a long time, I always like to evaluate where I'm holding tension, you know, just to occupy my mind. So I'm nice and released between the ears and in the jaw and in the neck. Shoulders are down. Shoulder blades are nice and stable. I feel that good tension in my lats and armpits all the way down to my oblique. I'm going to draw my belly button in, zip my ribs closed. My weight is on its toes. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I tricked you into 40 seconds. All right, nice job. Okay, now back to our push-ups. Last round of push-ups. I'm gonna spin my heavy chair. All right, we're back to 8. Now this is the higher positioning again. So we're into our chair position plank in an incline, okay? Hands are under armpits. I'm standing more on the balls of my feet. My heels are lifted, okay? And I'm gonna lower slowly my bra line to the chair and press back up. 1, 2, keep those elbows into the rib cage. 3, but don't do a heavy retraction between the shoulder blades. We don't want to completely buckle in there. 6, so stay strong. 7, and 8. Nicely done. Okay, lateral lunges, last round for 8. All right, use whatever support you need here, chair, stick, or on your own. Let's step to the left, bend, right leg straight. 1, 2, really focusing on good quad and good adductor movement. 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, and 8. Nicely done. Okay, IYTs, let's go right into it. Hinging forward, I, Y, T, I, Y, T. Try and keep the tension out of your neck as your arms reach for I and Y. It's very common. T. 6, 7 to add that tension into your neck. And 8. T. Good. Nice. Okay. And now our last round of planks. No, I'm not going to squeeze you into 40 seconds again. We'll shoot for 25 here. Okay, guys? All right. So again, I am reducing my incline. I am putting my hands on the bottom of the chair, lowering myself a little bit closer to the ground, evening out my weight load. Okay. All right, so extending my legs back one at a time. Exhale. All right, let's begin. Let's go for, what did I say, 25 seconds? Okay. All right, nice and long, belly button lifting toward my spine. Feel the deepest layer of your core wrapping around like a corset. That's the job of our transverse abdominis, our deepest layer of our anterior abdominal wall. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, nice job, guys. Okay, that was a good upper body and core section. Did very well. Okay, now on this last one, the last weightlifting one, I'm gonna move these heavy weights because we don't need those to stabilize the chair anymore. We're going to return to a movement that we did last time. Some of you that weren't here, we're gonna start with a curtsy lunge bicep curl. So, I mean, a curtsy lunge is not a straight back lunge. We're reaching back behind. And so it's a little bit of a twisting movement. And we're only gonna go down into our lunge as much as you can, but maintaining a nice straight spine, okay? So only lowering that knee as much as you can, given what you need for good form, okay? So we'll do one side then the other as we incorporate a bicep curl. Now with that bicep curl, you can have weights or not have weights, whatever you feel comfortable and coordinated and fluid with. Then we're gonna do our horse stance heel raise again. All right, and so I'm challenging you, if it was easy last time, to take on something a little bit more difficult, okay? So our horse stance, we're dropped down with knees wide, heels wide, and a heel raise, it's an alternating heel raise. And so we're holding shoulders, head, hips level, and alternating, raising the heel as high as we can to get that good work in our calf, good work in our feet, in our ankle. If you need the stick, position it in front. If you need the chair, use that as well. But try and push yourself on this, okay? All right, and then we're gonna do standing oblique work, which is gonna be a little bit different than the crunch. We will use the chair, and I'll talk you through it as we get there, okay? So let's go ahead and begin with our curtsy lunges. So grab your dumbbells if you want to use them for the bicep curl. All right, and you can do either a traditional bicep curl or a hammer curl with thumbs up, whichever you prefer, okay? We're starting with 8s, all right? So I am gonna step back with my right leg first, okay? Ready? Curtsy, lunge, and rise and curl for 1. Step back, alternating, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that exhale is me engaging my core. And 8. It's me really thinking about shooting my core straight up like a rocket. Okay, horse stance, heel raise. All right, this first round, I'll show it to you with the stick. Remember, our stick is positioning closer to our body. The head of it is away. All right, I'm gonna sit down in my horse stance pretty deeply here because I really wanna get some good burn going. Okay, ready? Heel raise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good, okay, make sure you're sitting down in your horse stance, okay? I want you guys to load up your muscles a little bit more to support you rather than standing in an upright position. Okay, now our standing oblique. All right, we're gonna start with the left side. We're gonna do 8 on each side here. We are not gonna do a crunch with bent knee. We're gonna focus on drawing a straight leg away from our body. So an adduction sort of work. So what I mean by adduction is moving away from the midline of the body, okay? So your midline is like from your nose through your belly button, between your legs and down to the ground. Now the chair is here for balance. You can have a light hand on it because I'm going to keep my right foot down. And as I exhale, I'm going to contract through my oblique in my glute and slowly draw that heel up and return. And the beauty is going to be in the slowness and the execution here. I'm not going to throw my leg around with momentum. I'm going to exhale and return. Okay, you ready? You with me? Draw in your breath. Exhale. 1. And we're focusing on that oblique and the glute. And that chair is here to make sure we stay nice and tall. 7 and 8. Good. Let's switch sides. There's a lot of muscles at work here. That standing leg, that glute there is really going to help stabilize your pelvis. Okay, so if you're saying, hey, Jen, that other leg, I was feeling some burn in it. Good. Because we don't want our hips to do the cha-cha as we do this movement, okay? We want nice, strong, and stable hips. All right, ready? Hand down, nice, neutral spine, belly button in. Exhale, 1, 2. Don't just lift, contract. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm thinking, ooh, that I'm leading by my heel and not opening up my toes. Okay, my heel and toe are riding in parallel with one another. Okay, if my toe starts driving it, then I'm getting more quad in there than I want. I want to be working from my lateral side here. Okay, so now we're back to our curtsy lunge bicep curl. All right, this is as much about footwork and coordination and agility as it is about muscle movement, okay? So get comfortable with it. It's important that we incorporate all of these things, okay? Ready? Stepping back, curtsy, and curl. Curtsy, curl. Curtsy, curl. 4, 5, 6. Keep that spine nice and neutral. 8, 2 more. 10. Good. Okay, horse stance, heel raise again. Okay, for those of you that want to see what it looks like with the chair, I will demonstrate it from the sagittal view here with the chair. Okay, so I'm going to drop down into my horse stance, my hands here, right, just for support on the chair. All right, knees are nice and wide. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nicely done. Okay, and that oblique work. So we have 10 on each side now. All right, you ready? Let's go right into it. Nice and tall, shoulders are back, neutral spine. Inhale and exhale, pelvic floor, transverse, oblique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always like to palpate. 8. So I've got my left finger into my left oblique to make sure that that guy is contracting, helping to lift. Imagine that it's pulling on the rope that's lifting my leg off the ground. All right, switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more. 4. Stay nice and tall now. 5. Good. Nice job. Okay. Last round of 8s. Finding those dumbbells again for that last round of curtsy lunge. All right, you ready? Let's begin. Curtsy and 1, 2. Think about that back butt. That's what I always tell people, because our tendency is always to load that front leg. 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. Nicely done. Horse stance, heel raises, last round. Now, if you wanted an additional challenge, if you weren't worried about balance and you didn't need it, you could grab a dumbbell and hold it into your core as you get into your horse stance. So you're just adding a little bit more weight into this, okay? So I've got my elbows in and this dumbbell I'm holding into my chest. I'm in my horse stance, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good, nicely done. Okay, and standing oblique. I've got my chair on the right side, my finger into my left oblique. Inhale, exhale, pelvic floor transverse. 2, 3, and I'm thinking heel, not toe. 4, contracting. 5, through my oblique. 6, and butt, not quad. And 8. Good. Switch sides. All right, hands on the left. All right, right finger into right oblique. Ready. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that oblique is contracting. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nicely done. Okay, now we're on to our last round. Now we have done our core and shoulder work, kind of the same thing the last couple of classes. So today we're going to change it up just a little bit, add a little bit more complexity to our movement. All right, so that is the nature of our body, right? We start off kind of in this always strong and stable environment when we're seated or laying down, but as we go about our activities of daily life, we start doing things that we want to do in a stable way, but we need to train our muscles to always respond to provide the stability. So we're going to start with, right now, a position that we know, which is our boat pose, okay? So I'm going to show you from a sideways position, and if you prefer to do this on the ground, you may do that as well. But when we're in boat pose, we're putting a little bit more pressure on our core to maintain our spine, because we're not sitting up in an upright neutral. We're going to lean back a little bit and control it with our core. Okay, my legs are extended out and away. My heels are into the ground. They're still nice and parallel. My toes lifted. Okay, and so then I can really think about the work that my inner thighs are doing to help support my pelvic floor. Now, that's our boat pose. What we're going to add into this is some variation with our arms. So we'll start with the arms at our sides, and we're going to focus on our lats here. So our palms are going to be facing one another. We're going to draw our palms up, keeping our shoulders down so they're in a nice parallel to one another and to our shoulders. And we're going to lift and then open up and make snow angels. But we're going to try and maintain our nice boat pose. So let me demo that from the front. Okay. So if you guys aren't exactly sure how that looked, here I am. You can remember what my boat pose looked like. My arms are going to pass over my chest. My biceps aren't quite going to reach my ears before I open up and swing around, back around. But as I do that articulation movement through my shoulders, I want to keep my core still, nice and still, okay? So we're articulating and stabilizing. All right, so we're gonna try and do that first one. We're gonna stay in that same path, 8, 10, 8, okay? So, so we'll do that rib cage to snow angels. And then we're gonna do a seated torso twist with a saw. So we've been doing our torso twist. Now we're gonna add a saw. And as we do this, I'm going to ask that you extend your legs out a little bit wider than parallel, and that we're going to saw and reach for our pinky toe that's extended out. Our legs don't have to be straight. Our legs can still be bent, but I want the angle to be slightly wider than your hips, okay? So we'll twist and then reach for that pinky toe. It's your opposite pinky toe, so pinky finger to pinky toe, and the opposite hand is gonna move behind your body, palm up, okay? So we're gonna twist and saw, and then return, twist, and saw. Okay, so that's our two core movements. Really, these are foundational Pilates movements. So that's kind of where we're headed down here, guys. Very exciting. All right, so let's get into our boat pose. Okay, so lean back just a little bit, create some tension in your deep transverse, rib cage closed. All right, legs extended into boat, heels, knees in parallel. And we're gonna extend up, hands up over chest. This is called rib cage arms. And as our biceps reach our ears, we're gonna swim out and away and make those snow angel arms. And return, 2, up and out for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Okay, now let's get into our alternate position for this saw. So knees wider than hips, feet can be on the ground. We're seated on our sit bones, not on our sacrum, so we're nice and tall here, okay? So we're gonna twist to the right and then saw off our pinky toe, reaching forward with a neutral spine, okay, ready? Exhale as we twist, and then reach right finger for, or left finger for right pinky toe. Right palm goes up to the sky, and return back to center. Go to the left and reach left hand back, right pinky finger for left pinky toe, and up and return to ballerina. Twist, saw, up and return, twist, saw, up and return, twist, saw, up and return, twist, saw, up and return. Let's do one more on each side. Up and return, twist, exhale as you saw off that pinky toe, up and return. Good. Okay, let's go back to our boat pose, angel arms. All right, sit back. Exhale as you draw your rib cage arms up and over your chest, biceps meeting the ear, and fan out to make a snow angel. Return hips to center, and then draw back up to the front and repeat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go for 10 here. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, back to our saw. All right, so knees wide, feet a little bit wider, toes are pointed out. Ballerina, sitting on your sit bones, ballerina arms. Twist and saw. Return. Exhale as you reach pinky toe, pinky finger to pinky toe. Twist and reach. Good. Twist and reach, right finger for left pinky toe. Exhale as you reach and return. Let's do one more on each side. Twist, saw off that pinky toe, return to upright, ballerina arms, twist and reach. Good, back to center. Okay, Now, let's go ahead and move into our seated door handle and scarecrow arms because I see we're moving past time. All right, so we're in our chair, we're nice on our sit bones. Let's go ahead, extend our arms out from our shoulders, left thumb up, right thumb down. Exhale as you soften through your neck and your shoulders and start turning the door handles. As big a movement as you can. You wanna get your head around that feeling in your shoulder girdle, that deep internal rotational movement. 6, 7, and 8, okay? Now send both palms down, bend at the elbows, scarecrow arms down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Scarecrow arms up in parallel. Now up. 2, 3, 4. Again, focusing on that feeling in your shoulders. 6, 7, and 8. Okay, last round, door handles and scarecrow arms. Extend those hands, left thumb up, right thumb down. Curl them around a door handle and twist. 2, 3, 4, long and supple. 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, scarecrow arms bent at the elbow, fingers down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, and up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, bring your arms to your sides. Roll those shoulders. Good work, guys. Now we're just gonna do a little bit of stretching before we sign off today. I hope you all felt pretty strong in the movements that the new ones we introduced today, okay? Opening the chest and closing. And open the chest again, squeezing those shoulder blades together and then releasing and stretching across your shoulder blades as you cross your arms out in front. Good. Now let's reach those arms up overhead, right hand grasp left wrist and open up to the left side. Return to center. Now left hand on right wrist, open up to the right side. Feel that lengthening and stretching between each vertebrae and each rib. Good. Return to center. Bring your hands back down to your lap. Nice job. Today is Thursday. I enjoyed having each and every one of you in class today. We will see you Tuesday at 10 a.m. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye.